Hello and welcome to the Pear Blossom Press YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted, across all of the socials, and today I'm going to make a Christmas light up card featuring Pink and Main's Christmas Squares stamp set. I'm going to use the one light out of the Halo Light combo pack, and if you've never played with Pear Blossom lights before, it's really easy. They always come batteries included. Each of the light up units, doesn't matter which one you are using, has a battery holder. You can see it says plus on your battery. Find the side that has the plus, and you want to be able to see both of those face up. On the side that has that curved notch is where you want to slide your battery in as far as it'll go, and that's it. Your light up mechanism is ready to go. If you need to, you can push it out and take the battery out from the same side that you inserted it. So with that installed, now I can actually worry about the creative aspects of this card. So I've got Rudolph here, and I have some acetate that I just colored in red. I cut his nose off and made an aperture because that's what we are going to light up. I'm going to light up Rudolph's nose, and by cutting away the cardstock there, it just makes it so that more light can come through. But the panel that I have, that little square, it's too small to really hide the entire light up mechanism. So I'm going to hide the light up mechanism behind this pattern paper layer here. So what I'll do is a little bit of a dry fit to compose my card, and that way I know where I want everything placed. And then I can figure out, okay, where does my light need to go, and where does the button need to land. And you can see, because there's acetate behind the nose, the light is actually kind of visible, but the nice thing about this particular one light is that there's actually a lot of white surrounding the LED light. You can see all of that white space there. So if I position the button from beneath Rudolph, like below it on the card, then I think it's not going to look quite as obvious that there is something behind there. Because look, it just looks like it's white. So I'm gonna aim for something a little bit like that, but I do want to have the light a little bit centered if I can. So I might play with something kind of in between where I had it just now and where it will be at the end of the day. Because anywhere inside that aperture is gonna be totally okay. Just depends on the look that you're trying to go for. So I traced through the aperture on my frame layer, the matte layer that goes behind Rudolph, and I've essentially transferred the location of where that aperture needs to go onto this pattern paper layer, and I'm gonna just cut that out with a craft knife. This is exactly how I got the aperture cut through that red cardstock. And I'm going to transfer that location yet again by tracing through that aperture onto my card, which I already have this red layer, matte layer on. So that pencil mark I don't need to cut through. It's just to help me position where the one light should go. And I do want to do a little bit of a dry fit just to make sure that everything is going to land exactly where I want it. So I can now attach Rudolph to his frame because I've already transferred the location of that aperture, so I don't need to use that to trace through anymore. And as I go, I like to minimize the number of individual elements that I have. So the more I can start to glue down, the better. And I think that's lining up pretty okay. I can still see a lot of light coming through. Once I get Rudolph through there, that still looks really good. So I think that's a very good spot for the light. So now I can just glue the light down in that location. And when you go to glue your light down, I prefer liquid adhesive. It just is a really nice strong hold. But you could use a dry tape runner as well if you'd like, and it's going to be plenty secure. And that's as simple as it is to install. So once you've got this where you want it, the liquid adhesive is nice because it'll still give me a little bit of wiggle room to move things around if I really need it. And then because the battery and the battery holder and the whole light up mechanism, it does have a little bit of thickness to it. So I'm going to use the world's best foam tape, which is also by Pear Blossom Press. And I am going to line the back of my pattern paper panel with foam. And that way there's sufficient kind of padding around the light up mechanism so that if something were to be pressed on top of this, it wouldn't keep that button depressed the whole time. And I'm gonna add a couple of strips in the center as well, just to really make sure everything's nice and secure. And one of the nice things about the world's best foam tape is that for the first half hour or so, the adhesive is repositionable. Just as you saw a moment ago, I actually peeled that up and nudged it a little bit. And then the paper liner on the back of the foam, it's also super easy to peel that off as well. So I love when products and really everything from Pear Blossom Press is designed to be very hassle-free. And I love when our supplies, our tools, our equipment, they are the things that are easy and they just work. Because then I don't have to struggle against those things and I can really just put my attention and focus on the creative aspects of the project that I'm making and not have to worry about struggling with peeling off the liner on the back of tape, for example. And so that's one of the things I really appreciate about everything that Pear Blossom Press puts out. And it really just kind of saves you time and lets you focus on the fun part of crafting as opposed to struggling with things like building circuitry and figuring out how to wire a light up mechanism. I mean, that's a totally different skill and different type of fun. But for me, when I'm making holiday cards, especially since I do tend to make a lot and send out a lot, I really want to just focus on the creative and as much as possible make it a very special card, but and memorable at that. And I think light up cards definitely make for very memorable and special cards. But I don't want to struggle with the mechanism. I want the mechanism to be easy and just as fun to put together as it is to actually experience when it's all done. So my Rudolph here, I am going to put a little bit more foam behind it. This is just low profile foam, though it's not super, super thick. But in any case, likely I'm going to be sending this card along with some presents. And so it's going to go in a box anyhow, which is another reason why I'm not too worried about the extra thickness. But I would suggest that if you are going to send a light up card through the mail, just depending on how many mats and layers you have going on your card, you may want to just add an extra stamp or add some extra postage just in case, because you wouldn't want that card to get returned back to you for insufficient postage. So this does end up being a little bit thick, and so if you just want to make sure that it gets to its destination, maybe add an extra stamp or send it along with a gift, because that's what I plan on doing. So the push here is from the Spellbinders Take Action stamp set, and actually if you have the Spellbinders nested circle die set, the smallest circle is what I used to die cut out that push here. And so I was really happy that it turned out that way, and they must have designed it that way. I don't know, but it worked out really well that there's a perfectly sized die to cut that out because it's a pretty small circle. I definitely don't have a punch that size, so it was nice to have a die that size. And the Merry Christmas stamp set, that's actually from Not Too Shabby, and it's great because it has a banner die from my Easy Wonder dies that works perfectly to die cut that out as well. And here's a final look at my card. Super fun to put together. Really, really cute. I think this will be a fun holiday card to send out. I'll leave links to everything that I used in the description box below in case you want to check any of it out for yourself. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.